enjoys a favorable potential demographic dividends as the joint foreign chambers, but adds the country's economic engine is not running on all cylinders. Well, the Joint Foreign Chambers holds its 6th Arangkada Philippines Forum this month to discuss the status of the Duterte administration's 10-point economic agenda. Joining us for more from our Rockwall studio is Gunter Taas, the president of the European Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, and Hiroshi Shiraishi, the president of the Japanese Chamber of Commerce and Industry of the Philippines. Good to have you both with us, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Good to be here.
Okay, so let me start with you, Gunter. Why is the so-called economic engine not running on all cylinders?
Well, you know, the different industries and the different points of the 10-point economic agenda, some of them have been properly addressed over the past couple of months. Some of them are lagging behind. So we would like, on this forum, we would like to now stress on what has been achieved and what has to still be addressed in order to move forward.
So what still needs to be addressed? Which industries are lagging behind?
A lot of lagging behind, in our opinion, is manufacturing, logistics and mining, tourism certainly, sorry, I just lost you. The build agenda is certainly nowhere near where it's supposed to be. So yeah, this is a number of things that we need to address.
Nowhere supposed to be on the build. I mean, Hiroshi-san, from your point of view, do you think that the government has been amiss in addressing the needs of the country in the infrastructure build-out? Hiroshi-san.
Yeah, build is quite important point, and we think this is very significant for Philippines to grow next 5 or 10 or 50 years. And key point for infrastructure is always government and private sectors. They have to communicate and have to understand correctly what is necessary, what we can do for, what has to be done. Yes.
Are there lapses? I mean, Hiroshi-san, the Japanese government has really been involved in the ODAs, the official development assistance with the Philippines, as well as the hybrid PPPs. What's going wrong?
One of the point is we have to address and we have to stress to enhance this infrastructure and ODA is to speed up the project is quite important point. And administration is finished every 6 years. So I think the speed is one of the key words for infrastructures for ODA, not only for JICA project, for any ODA project, any infrastructures is speed up and accomplish and to contribute to the societies. Is a very important point, I think.
That's true. And Gunter, the LEDOC got some work done last week. I mean, 28 priority bills, 14 of which tagged as urgent. It's been identified by the Legislative Executive Advisory Council as urgent, and one of them is really the build programs. But what do you make of the priority bills, the other ones tagged as urgent, taking into the broader context the 10-point economic agenda?
Well, it's difficult to really project on how this is going to move forward, because we still have a number of obstacles to overcome. One of them is the government procurement procedures, amongst others. Funding is another one, and who do you team up in order to expedite these projects? Because if you look at infrastructure, if you just look at an airport, it takes you anywhere 5, 6, 7 years to build a proper, decent airport. So we are 1 year into the administration now, so that leaves us with 5 more years. So it's a handful to get done within this administration.
Well, one of the priority bills is federalism. Do you think that is good or bad for business? Gunter?
In my personal opinion, I think it hampers business more. It does more harm than good for business. I think the current infrastructure as we have it is workable. We do work with a lot of LGUs in order to address a number of the issues, but I think federalism by itself will not change the game very much and will not make the country prosper as fast as we would like to have it.
How about you, Hiroshi-san? What do you make of federalism?
Oh, it's a bit tough questions. I think it's in the long term, it might be very considerable, but for short term or medium term, is before federalism, we hope the Philippines will become more, peaceful and recover security and peace. And this will be, I think, maybe important before, I think, federalism. But long term, I think is one of the way, I think.
Do you think martial rule in Mindanao is one of the way to get to peace?
Yeah, I hope really hope to Mindanao people, not only Mindanao, is entire peace level of the Philippines is become up and up. It is important for all kind of business, for trade and investment. Sentiment will be more relaxed for foreign direct investment and trade.
So to get to peace, do you think the whole nation has to be under martial rule, Hiroshi-san?
I cannot say. I'm not sure. I have no ideas. But anyhow, this peace recover, it will be areas possible. That means it will be end of the martial rule. I think it will be areas better, I think.
All right, fair enough. Well, given your members are into the car industry, well, at least most of them are, what needs to be done to strengthen manufacturing here? So it's one of the key themes of the forum, to get the Philippines closer to the industrial revolution phase. Okay,
it's good questions. For manufacturing sectors, for example, for Japanese investment here, we have historically there are 3 or 4 investment timing in 1980, 1990, beginning of 2000, and maybe 2011, 2013. And if we look at these 4, peak time, is of course the drivers is always manufacturing, and still electronic industries is one of the key role for Japanese to trade, especially for Philippines also to export for business, is manufacturing for the electronics and assembling is very important. But I think it's from now on is a significant point how we can attract is more manufacturing sector come in. I think the answer is one of the answer is maybe more easing the environment of the business and more easy environment for foreign investment, like easing of some rule and regulation for investment and trade.
Gunter, you have identified agribusiness, creative industries, and tourism as game changers in the forum that's to come next week. What potential contribution is there for these game changers to actual Philippine GDP?
Well, if you take, for instance, one of my favorite subjects, which is tourism, if you just increase your tourism income here from what the government tries to project from 3 to 4 million to about 6 to 7 million, that will have a tremendous impact on the economy. It will also help infrastructure building because you need the infrastructure. So if you look at all the issues and items that we have identified on the 7 points that we raised, all of them will be game changers for the country. Even we go as far as we're looking at the Philippine workforce in 2030, human capital challenges and what have you. So I think the forum addresses all the vital issues that we are facing at this point in time. And we have a number of very interesting speakers there to analyze the different points that we are trying to get across.
Well, let me get to the human capital challenges and solutions, because there is an issue when it comes to the most urgent concern right now among foreign as well as local businessmen here is contractualization. I mean, a number of business leaders have cited their concern over the controversial end of contractualization or end of labor practice. It's been identified early on as a priority of the Council. What impact could it have on the joint foreign chambers? Gunter?
If you look at most of the manufacturing or assembly companies here, contractualization is not so much an issue. I think that pertains more to the retail industry rather than to the industries that we focus on. Or if you look at the PPO industry, there's very little contractualization. So on the overall for foreign businesses here, this issue is not a major issue, and there's a number of ways to address those issues. For us, a much bigger issue is sustainability of available labor force in the sectors that we are working in.
Sounds like a very interesting forum coming up next week. Hiroshi Shiraishi and Gunter Toss, thank you so much, of the Joint Foreign Chambers of Commerce in our Rockwell studio in Makati.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.